Thanks for watching Million Mile Garage. Today we're going to knock out that water pump job on our 2000 Mustang GT.
Hard bass.
I also loosened up the bolts on the water pump pulley before I took the belt off. That'll make removing this so much easier. Now I'm going to use the same 10mm socket and breaker bar, although I'll probably have to use an extension. And I'm going to get in there and crack. I think there's only 4 bolts holding this on, and I already drained the coolant. I think you can see the bucket down there. I drained the radiator before we get started on this. So the only thing I have to do is get those, I think, 4 bolts out, and then probably just gently knock it with a mallet and get it out. Looks like a pretty straightforward job. All right, we're going to crack the bolts loose on the water pump. I'm going to start on the bottom one first. I got a really long wand. Okay, that made that easy. Let's grab this top one here, or semi-top one. There we go. These break loose pretty easy. They're not real large fasteners. They're coming loose real easy. That's a good thing. All right. Yep, those came loose real nice. Let's see if I can get this other one down here a little more looser. That one's a little tight. Okay, those will come out with my fingers now. These come out so easy. Look at that. Never had Chrysler or small block Chevy stuff come apart that easy. Of course, I don't think the early Ford stuff was that great either. Looks like there's coolant on it. I guess those are not blind holes. Coolant on that? Maybe, maybe not. There's a large O-ring that seals this water pump. So when I get these bolts out, I'm just gonna see if I can just gently coax this pump out. I may just use a tie rod separator. I'm gonna wedge it in between the pulley and the pump body and use that as a lever, and then probably just gently tap it with a mallet. Some of these are coming out dry. I guess they are blind holes. I thought they looked like maybe they had something on them. Nope, guess not. Guess not. This is the third one, right? Let's make sure they're all the same length, too. I've never done one of these. They look to be all the same length. So I'll grab the bottom one. I love when they do that. That makes it so much easier. Let me work for it on this last one. All right, got it. Oh, like we found oil on that one. Maybe coolant, not sure. All right, so let's see if we can just come in with this. I can just come in here with a tie rod separator. Maybe I can just use that to break it loose. Wishful thinking. That's in there pretty good. We'll try coaxing it a little bit. It's hard to get in there. You can almost see why you want to take the upper radiator hose off. You get some more swing angle. Just try coming in there. Yep, that moved it. Okay. Block of wood. Just smack it with a hammer. Old school. Come back and coax it the other way. There she goes. Trying to. See that? Almost got it. come over here and convince it a little more about that. Okay. Holy crap. Alright, it's coming out at an angle, but it's going to come out. There we go. Boy, that was in there. Moses. Alright. You can tell that was in there a long time. Look how the seal, it just went away as we pulled it out. And where's the weep hole on that? Still dry. I don't think it was weeping, but almost 160,000 miles on this. I bet it's never been changed. I was trying to look for a Ford part number on this one. A lot of times it'll be marked accordingly. I'm sure that green dab or whatever probably had something to do with it at the factory. So I'm pretty sure that's a, oh, let's see, we got R604 B2. I'm sure some Ford person would know whether that was a original Ford part or not. Probably is. Alright, so got a little bit of cleanup to do here. This is really scrungy here and there. That's going to have to be Scotch Brighted off, get all that crud out, because we don't want to tear that new O-ring going in. This is really nasty. So it's going to be a little bit of work to do there. But I'd say overall, that wasn't too painful so far. Okay, now it gets complicated. You can see the difference in height. So it looks like we're going to be taking a trip to O'Reilly's because this Rock Auto one's not going to work out. Unfortunately, that seems to happen to me a lot when I order stuff on Rock Auto. I don't know. I'm sure I'm the one that screwed it up. But I picked a water pump for a 2000 Mustang GT. Evidently, there's two links for some reason. That's frustrating. All right. Okay, we came back from O'Reilly's and they had the correct length water pump. So there they are. And as an added bonus, this one's pre-rusted. So these have the same snout on them. So for whatever reason, there's a short one. And it's the same bolt pattern and everything. They're all the same pattern. But for whatever reason, they've got a short one and a long one. All right. We're just going to coat this new O-ring with a little bit of dielectric grease, which is basically silicone grease. We're just going to coat the O-ring real good, and then we're going to work it over this pump. For whatever reason, this pump, it comes in a bag and you have to install it. The other pump already had it installed. And we're just using a little silicone grease, basically just so the thing eases in. We don't want to have any problems, you know, with it getting caught or rolling off or whatever. But I don't think that would be an issue. That just goes right on. Yeah, you got it lubed up really nice. Could probably have used antifreeze. That's probably be another trick, but we got the silicone grease. That definitely isn't going to hurt rubber. That's going to slide right in. That's not going to cause any problems. Hopefully it prevents problems. And then just coming over here real quick, I took my brown Scotch Brite, which is also my watch band refinishing cloth, and I just went in here and cleaned up getting all the residue of that old O-ring and scrunch off of there, so we don't have any sealing problems. I almost got that done. I'm just going to go in and polish that a little bit more, then we'll slide it in. We're just going to put a little coat of that silicone grease on there on the other surface as well. Just make sure this thing eases in. Get in there and just move it around with your finger. That'll be good. Oh yeah. Yeah, mostly on the outer edge. You see where the pitting and stuff is? That's where that O-ring's going to seal. It seals right on the edge. Yeah, and just work it all the way around. Yeah. Yep, we got no worries. Perfect. I can't remember. At least one of those holes was not just a blind hole. I think one of them was open. One of them had motor oil on it. So I just put them in a bottle of mineral spirits just to degrunch them. We're just going to wire them off. I don't have a set of metric thread taps. Usually I just run the threads with taps. And I'm just going to put a little bit of, maybe some kind of thread sealant with PTFE. I do that on anything that's like, you know, through the block, you know, where you're, you know, into water or oil, just to keep it from weeping up through the threads. So, but since I can't remember if one or two of those, we're just going to put a little sealant on all of them. Not going to hurt anything. It's all good. All right, we're just going to take in and set it in, and it looks like the weep hole actually faces upward. Looking at the bolt pattern, the way it's staggered. And I'm just going to just drop her in, very carefully trying to line it up with the holes. Just like that. Yep, and it's definitely going to have to be pulled in. And we just put a little bit of that thread sealant on the bolt holes. See if I can find a hole. Yep, found that one. That's good. Alright. And I know I'm probably overkill on the sealant on these. I'm not a 4.6 guy, so I know if I found oil on one of those threads, I'm pretty sure that's not from oil leaking from the outside. So I'm sure one of those holes, one of those bolts is sealing a through hole into the block, I guess, where there's oil. It looked like one of them had coolant residue on it, so I think 2 out of the 4. And then again, maybe they all go through. Maybe there was just a trace amount of sealant on it that I couldn't see. Go down here, put it in that one. I think all the holes lined up already. Yep. I'm just going to go in and just run these up real quick. I'm going to have to be real careful how I run these in because I don't want this to get cocked in the bore. I want it to go in fairly straight, so I'm just going to probably just pick the 2 farthest away ones to press it in. I'll probably grab like the top one and the bottom one. They're directly across from each other, and that's probably what I'll use to start pulling it in at first, so that it's not crooked. That right there has just got the O-ring seated up against the hole. That's pretty straight, just like that. Feel it with my fingers. There we go. But the bottom was already snugged. So I'm going to come in here with my trusty 1/2-inch drive. I should have enough room to work in here. We'll just start pulling in a little bit at a time. Looks like to me it's going right in. I think it's got it. Yep, it's in. Okay, so snug those 2 up first. Yep. Got one on the bottom. Yep. Okay, that's snug. And then we'll just come in and hit the other ones. That was pretty easy. It's probably one of the easiest water pump jobs I've ever done. And as much as it probably would cost to have this fixed when it's down in Florida when I can't work on it, probably be 10 times as much, right? The water pump was like $55. If that's all you were doing, that's pretty cheap. I'm just snugging these up for now. I don't know what the torque spec is on this, but these aren't real large fasteners. So I'm going to say probably 25 to 30 foot-pounds would probably get it. I've got a pretty good feel for this, so I'm going to come in, just grab it. This is a big wrench, so I got to be careful. I don't want to overdo it. Because if we break a bolt off into the block, that'll definitely make this a much less pleasant job today. Okay. I'll probably look up the spec. I'm guessing it's 25 to 30 foot-pounds. I can't imagine it's much more than that. And I probably will get the torque wrench out and just do it right. But really, it's O-ringed. You really just want these to be tight so they don't back out. That's really all you're looking to do. And these are plenty snug. I probably got it. Yeah, I can feel the bolt stretching. Yep. Yeah, if I walked away from it, it probably wouldn't have a problem. All right, installed. All right, I'm real happy with that. Florida, here we come. We sprung for a Gates serpentine belt kit, and I think it has all the ingredients you need to replace all of the whirling gizmos in the belt that attaches to it. Remembering that on these engines that use serpentine belts, every one of these idler pulleys has a sealed for life bearing. And sealed for life means until the grease leaks past the seal and then the bearing goes. So it comes in a nice vacuum packed deal here. Assuming the Rock Auto sent me the right one on this, I guess we'll just hope and pray. All right, take a look here. There's our idler. That's going to notch into the aluminum timing chain cover, and there's your sealed bearing there. It's got the same notch in it, so it's just like the original factory part. And then you've got your two idlers. You've got the one with the serpentine rib on it, and then of course there's that other one that goes up here. So these are going to go like this and this. We've got one that's buried behind that AC hose bracket, which is going to be a little challenging to get to. And then this one up here will be real easy. And then of course we just got the one bolt holding the old tensioner on. Oh, that's a noisy one. That might be that noise we hear sometimes when we start it up cold. Yep, that one's on its last legs. So that was definitely a smart thing to do. That one's on its way out. Right. These are nice and silent. All of these will be quiet as well. Yep, good stuff. All right, so I'm just going to gather my tools and we'll get those off and get that changed out as well, get the belt on. And then we got to go back below the waterline again because I discovered a massive oil leak on the oil filter adapter. So while we got the coolant drained out, we're going to disconnect that lower radiator hose because that oil filter adapter also doubles as the lower water outlet on this particular engine. All right, so I just got to find this inner one is going to be really difficult to get to. I can't get into it with a good breaker bar, so I'm going to have to use a wrench and a little bit of leverage, hoping this will work. Just get that out of the way. It'll come up like this. I just don't want it to come loose on me. Oh, there we go. Okay. Unbelievable. That never happens the first try. It's not even frozen. Oh, thank you. It's just meant to be today. See, I had to take the AC bracket loose, and it's got this goofy K&N filter thing, so I had to take all these goofy brackets off as well. They jump on top of it. So I can just get in there and finish getting this off. And hopefully I can get this bolt out without dropping it in the bucket of engine coolant below. That's usually the way it goes. Moses. Okay. Get that out. Put that in the parts tray. And this should just come right off. Oh, really? Okay, so we're going to have to... Ooh. Oh, yeah. There we go. Ooh. That's a little noisy. Oh, that's a lot noisy. See, the seal dried up, so the seal's spinning around. See that? That's on its last legs. That's garbage. Okay, I guess it was a good idea to do that. All right, we'll just see how Rock Auto did me. Same diameter, same number of ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I think we're good. Oh, that sounds so nice. I'm catching on that right there. That might be what I was doing before. So I just pull that out of the way so I got strong enough hands. There we go. There we go. That got it. Okay. All right, so I can get that in without dropping it in the bucket of fluid. Good deal. Okay, so we know that's going to go. So then we just got 2 more to go. All right. Confidence was a little shaken on the water pump I got because that was the wrong one. You never know, right? I don't know much about these 4.6 motors, so God only knows what's different from year to year. All right, so I just need to snug that up, and then I'll hit that one, and then we'll hit that one. All right. The same size that we used to get the water pump off with. Oh yeah, that felt good. Good one. Just pinched my hand. That felt awesome. All right, let's go in and grab this. And that should come right off as well. That shouldn't be a real challenge to break that loose because it's a small fastener. Whoa. Maybe not. They're not reverse threads, are they? Nope. Boy, that was on there. Wow. Okay. Okay. That was just really scrunchy. There we go. That was in there. Kind of hanging up. Maybe we'll play hard to get now. Yep, that's good. Okay. I have to support it with my hand. Kind of awkward reaching down in here. There we go. Okay, there's that. There's our old one. This one doesn't sound too bad, actually. Who knows, maybe this isn't the original one as well. There's a replacement one. It looks identical. So we should have 0 problems with that. That should go right on. Weird how that's all powdery. I don't think that's from going into anything, though. I think that's just doing whatever it's doing. It's kind of weird. You know what that is? That's anti-seize. That's what that stuff is that's dried up. We gotta put a little anti-seize on that because that came out kind of hard. Okay, we got a little anti-seize on those threads. So we can get this to go in. Get that to rest in the hole. And it'll keep falling on me. There we go. Get it. Yep, that's got it. Okay. Might be easier if at first I just put this on like this. See if I can twist it in like a screwdriver. Oh yeah, can get a grip on it now. Oh, almost into the bucket of coolant. Good one. Nice. Butterfingers.
Free bath.
Free coolant bath.
We don't live in California, so it won't give us cancer.
That's right. It's a good thing not working out of it in California. It's working out of it in good old Alabama. All right. I'm doing a very good job here. I think it might work better if I take the extension off. Let's just get in here and snug her up. And we're going into aluminum, so I don't want to go crazy with it. That's pretty snug. Just don't want it to back out. All right, that's on there. That's good. Now we got one left, and that one's got the big old fastener on it. That's a 13. And I had a 13 up here. Don't know what I did with it. Got the 13 wrench. The other one came off so easy. Why not? We'll just use our leverage enhancer. Oh, wrong direction. We don't want to torque it down yet. we go. That's got it. She comes right off. Those are dry. Just getting down to the end of its run. I think it's a perpetual motion machine. And just a sanity check. These look identical. That's the 6203 because I was holding it before, and I guarantee you, if I can get the scrunch off of that seal, it'll say 6203 on it as well. Yeah, right there. It's hard to read it. Pretty sure it's the 6203. My eyes aren't good enough to tell. Moves this. Yeah, it's the 6203. It's hard to see it. It's right there. Get the scrunch off. So those are the same bearing number, which is always encouraging. All right, and that's just going to just slide right on. It goes right on that cast aluminum stub. Put the fastener back in, and that's it. Put the belt back on, and that job is done. God, that was unbelievably easy. That was too easy. I love when that happens. All right. We'll just put our torque enhancer back on. I'm just going to be lazy. Just do it this way. I'm going to be crazy. I don't want to go like overboard because I'm threaded into aluminum. But I just want to snug it up really good. Just like that. That's not going to come off. That's good. Perfect. All right, we did this car some good today. The only thing I do want to do is I think I want to blast that off before I put the new serpentine belt on. Any more of this left? We do. Oh, goodness, we just went right through this stuff, didn't we? Moses. I'm just going to just blast the antifreeze off of this groove on the balancer. That way the new belt doesn't slip. That'll be fine. That's good. And they go underneath and hit it as well. Just to make sure we don't have any antifreeze lubing up that new belt, making it slip. Yeah, we're good. Right on. Okay. Good deal. Oh yeah. Okay. All right, just showing this oil filter adapter. You see how oily and cruddy it is on this side of the engine. This has been leaking for a while. Unfortunately, because I think we just changed the oil a few months ago, but looks like we get to doing the oil change. We're going to take the oil filter off, and then I think there's 4 bolts that hold this on. There's one here, there's one up here you can't see. I'm going to disconnect the radiator hose here. That's the lower water outlet for the engine block, which would normally be attached to a water pump. So I got to take that off first. I'm going to drop the oil filter, disconnect the oil sender right there, just the connector for it. I'll get those 4 bolts out, get this off, and we'll get that cleaned up. I bought a new Felpro gasket to go on that, a perma-dry, and that'll stop all that massive leaking. And just looking up underneath the engine, I was going to change out the rocker covers, but just pointing up here, you can see the bottom of the cylinder head here, and you can see the plastic rocker cover right there where it meets. It's dry. We may change them out anyway, but we wait till we get down to Florida if we got nothing else to do and change them out. But I think this is where my massive oil leak is coming from, is right here. So we'll tend to that now, and that'll pretty much have this car road ready. So we've got a spare tire, we got new spark plugs, new mufflers, new water pump, What else did we do? We're getting ready to do this oil filter thing. So yeah. Oh yeah, we put ball joints on. You can see this one right here. The seal's not ballooned out very much, so I'm going to have to come back in under here. I hope my oil filter hose, I mean, not my oil filter hose, my chassis lube hose can fit in between here and the wheel. And we're gonna put a little more lube in that. We don't want to run those ball joints dry. So, yep, a little bit left to do, and then this thing's going to be road ready. Okay, just showing you real quick what I'm going to do. This oil filter adapter is also a water outlet. That's for the lower radiator hose where the water pump would normally have one, like on a small block, like a push rod Ford, right? So I've got a fastener here. I got one just above it, right there. I got one over here. It's kind of hard to see, right there, and then I got one down here. We get those four off, and I can pull that water outlet combination oil filter adapter off. And I've already got the hoses loosened from the water outlet, so I can just twist that adapter out of the hose once I get this loose. We'll get that off, and we'll put a new gasket on it, and that'll take care of all of that nasty oil leak on this side. I'm using the same 10mm socket I used on the water pump. Let's see if I can crack these loose. Moses, these are on tight. Holy crap. That's one. Go in here. Get that one. Oh yeah. Get the one above it. Oh yeah. Good one. And this one here, I don't know if this ratchet's going to be long enough. Or the extension. Looks like it is. Whoops. That's a little tight. Let's see if I can get it. Okay, that's all four. Now I just got to unscrew them out and take it off. That's got to be close. All right, there's the first one. And we'll spare you the other three. We'll show you when we get it out. All right, just grabbing this last one. Oh, that's a bad sign when they start leaking right off when you take the bolt out. That thing wasn't even stuck to the block. Tell you what I did forget to do is I forgot to take my oil sender connector off. I got to get that. It's a place you got to grab it with your fingers and release it. All right, you can tell this was leaking for a long time. It's oily everywhere. Of course, that's the water passage. And I think this is how it mounts up on the engine block, like this. So looking at it, that's how it's like that. So those are the oil passages. You see there's like no gasket material left on that. That was leaking for a while. This looks like it was doing okay-ish. I don't see a pattern going like into the water, which is good. But I don't think we didn't have any oil mixing with water problems. We had a lot of oil running down the block. And then of course if we go back downstairs and just look up underneath there, you can see how much oil was just sprayed all over the block. So I know that was leaking for a long time. Here, we'll just we'll show it down here. Is it running?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just go down here real quick. See the big mess. You can see there was oil leaking down that block for a long time, running down the pan, getting on top of the steering rack. Probably didn't do that steering rack bushing any good either. If I can find it, yeah, right there. So yeah, just a big oily mess. But we'll get that old gasket off of there, get that cleaned up. We'll seal her up. I think that'll be the last of this car's woes for a while. Okay, maybe not the best lighting, but you kind of get an idea. I just went in there with some Scotch-Brite and a little bit of sandpaper and cleaned that up real good. It looks like there's a little bit of pitting around the water outlet area. It's perfectly formed around, I guess, where the other gasket laid or didn't lay, not sure. But that Felpro Perma-Dry should seal it up pretty good. I'm probably not going to put any sealer on it. I'm probably just going to put it on dry like they suggest. And we'll get this thing buttoned up and we'll call it done. All right, we got it cleaned up. There's definitely some pitting going on there, but wiped it off really good. This should be fine. And then we've got a brand new Felpro gasket. Ooh, made in China. That's nice. Let's
Trump's favorite place.
That's right. Let's it's made in China. Let's get this open. Look at this. So that is a some type of resin gasket, plastic, whatever you want to call it, and then it's got the nice Felpro perma seals put into it. So that should, if we look where this is going, it looks like the seal is actually going to go on the outside of this, so it's not going to be trying to seal where that's pitted away. So that'll be, yep, that'll be just fine. That looks great. So there's the oil passages, coolant. All right, we'll get this in the car and we'll get her buttoned up. All right, I am whipped, but I'm going to put this pulley back on and we'll finish this job tomorrow. Basically, we're just going to put an oil filter on it, put the belt back on, fill it up with oil, put coolant in it. So we'll just get those started and we're good. All right, we'll pick back up on this tomorrow. Hasta la vista.